This is a notice from the emergency broadcasting system. A video file has been appearing on devices belonging to people who are home alone after midnight. The video has no title, no description, and no identifiable source. It simply begins playing automatically, bypassing all security settings and parental controls. The video shows a single message: "I know you're alone." Then it displays a live feed of your house from the outside, showing your exact address and current time. Something is watching isolated people and making contact through their personal devices. The entity behind the video can see through your windows. The footage shows detailed views of your interior spaces, your living room, your bedroom, even rooms with no windows facing outside. The camera angles are impossible for any external surveillance. The video pans smoothly through your house as if something is walking through the walls, observing every corner. You can see yourself in the video, sitting exactly where you are right now, but the perspective comes from inside your house while you're the only one there. People who watch the video report hearing breathing that doesn't belong to them. Heavy, wet breathing that seems to come from inside their walls. The sound follows them from room to room, always staying just behind them. When they turn around, the breathing stops, but their pets react with terror to empty spaces. Dogs cower under furniture while cats hiss at nothing. The breathing becomes more frequent after each viewing of the video. The entity grows stronger with every person who watches its message. The video changes content based on your specific fears. People afraid of heights see footage taken from impossible aerial positions above their houses. Those who fear water see their homes slowly flooding from an unknown source. The entity studies your psychological profile through your device usage and tailors the horror to your personal vulnerabilities. It knows exactly what scares you most because it has been observing your digital behavior, learning your deepest fears through the content you avoid. After watching the video, people find evidence that something has been inside their house. Muddy footprints appear in rooms they haven't entered. Food disappears from their refrigerator overnight. Personal items are moved to different locations, always placed somewhere more visible, as if something wants them to notice the intrusion. The entity doesn't try to hide its presence. It wants you to know it has access to your private space while you sleep. The entity communicates through electronic devices throughout your house. Your smoke detectors chirp in patterns that spell out messages in Morse code. Your refrigerator hums melodies that sound familiar but wrong. Digital clocks throughout your house display impossible times: 25:61, -3:44, 88:88. The entity has learned to manipulate your electronics to create a constant reminder of its presence. Every device becomes a potential communication channel for something that shouldn't exist. Children who live alone with single parents report seeing a tall figure standing in their yards after watching the video. The figure appears only in peripheral vision, vanishing when looked at directly. It mimics the height and general shape of the absent parent, but the proportions are wrong: too tall, too thin, moving in ways that suggest broken joints. The entity studies family structures and creates false parental figures to lure isolated children outside during vulnerable hours. The video file multiplies itself across all connected devices in your house. Delete it from your phone, and it appears on your laptop. Remove it from your computer, and it shows up on your smart TV. The file spreads through your home network like a digital infection, ensuring you can never fully eliminate the entity's ability to contact you. Each copy of the video contains slightly different footage of your house, suggesting the entity films continuously from multiple impossible vantage points. People who try to leave their homes after watching the video find themselves back inside without memory of returning. They'll drive away, walk for blocks, even check into hotels, but they wake up in their own beds with no recollection of how they got there. The entity doesn't let its chosen targets escape. It has claimed your house as its territory and considers you a permanent resident. Leaving becomes psychologically impossible as the entity manipulates your perception of space and time. The entity feeds on the fear of isolated people. Each night you spend alone in your house, it grows stronger and more capable of physical manifestation. What starts as mysterious videos becomes actual physical presence. People report feeling breath on their necks, cold touches on their shoulders, and the sensation of being watched from inside their own reflections. The entity evolves from digital harassment to physical stalking as it absorbs the terror of its isolated victims. Your house begins changing to accommodate the entity's presence. New doors appear overnight leading to rooms that don't exist from the outside. Hallways become longer than they should be. Staircases develop extra steps that only exist when you're not counting them. The entity is reshaping your living space into something more suitable for its needs. Your house becomes a trap designed to keep you isolated while the entity feeds on your growing paranoia and fear. The video shows footage of other houses with people just like you, alone, scared, trapped in homes that have been modified by the entity. These other victims try to communicate through the video, mouthing warnings and holding up signs, but their messages are always interrupted by static. You're watching a network of isolated people who have all been claimed by the same entity. The video serves as a catalog of the entity's collection, and you're the newest addition. The entity begins impersonating people from your life to isolate you further. It calls you using the voices of friends and family, making excuses for why they can't visit or spend time with you. It sends text messages from their numbers explaining why they're too busy to maintain contact. The entity systematically removes your social connections, ensuring you remain alone and vulnerable to its influence. Everyone who might provide emotional support is gradually driven away through manipulation and impersonation. Electronics in your house start showing your reflection when they shouldn't. Your microwave display shows your face instead of the time. Your computer screen reflects your image even when it's turned off. But the reflections are always slightly wrong. Your face appears more tired, more frightened, more isolated than you actually feel. The entity is showing you how you look through its eyes, reflecting back the fear and loneliness it has cultivated. The reflections serve as a constant reminder that you're being observed and judged. The entity's ultimate goal is to keep you alone forever. It has identified isolation as your greatest weakness and designs every interaction to reinforce your solitude. The video, the breathing, the physical manifestations, all of it serves to make you too afraid to seek human contact while simultaneously making human contact impossible to maintain. The entity has turned your house into a prison where you serve as both guard and prisoner, convinced that isolation is safety while the entity feeds on your loneliness. This message reaches you because the entity wants you to know it exists. It doesn't hide its presence because fear is more nourishing than ignorance. Knowing that something watches you, studies you, and manipulates your environment makes the isolation more profound and the terror more complete. The entity doesn't want to kill you, it wants to keep you alive, alone, and afraid in your own home forever. The video that knows you're alone is just the beginning. Soon, you'll discover that alone is exactly how the entity intends to keep you. The entity is standing behind you right now. It has been there since you started reading this message, growing more solid with each word that increases your fear. Don't turn around. Don't try to see it directly. It becomes more real when observed, more dangerous when acknowledged. The entity feeds on attention, and right now, you're giving it exactly what it needs to complete its manifestation in your house. You are alone, but you are not alone. And that contradiction is exactly what the entity uses to trap people like you forever. Your isolation is no longer a circumstance. It has become your permanent condition. The entity has made sure that being alone is the only state you can exist in safely, while simultaneously ensuring that being alone exposes you to its constant presence. You cannot leave because the entity controls your house. You cannot stay because the entity shares your space. You cannot seek help because the entity has isolated you from everyone who might provide it. You are trapped in a paradox of solitude that feeds the entity while slowly consuming your sanity. The video knows you're alone because the entity made you alone. Every relationship it sabotaged, every social connection it severed, every moment of isolation it cultivated, all of it led to this moment where you sit in your house, reading about the thing that has been orchestrating your loneliness from the beginning. You were never accidentally alone. You were selected, isolated, and prepared. And now that the preparation is complete, the entity can begin the real work of keeping you exactly where it wants you, alone, afraid, and forever feeding its hunger for human solitude.